Hello, welcome to Studio Nicole. I am Nicole, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today, I am going to be swatching out some materials. I have a new project starting. I am making a Cascade journal in a month-long workshop over in Journaling Adventures, Creativity through Journaling and Art. I would love to invite you over there if you want to join me. It is completely free to join and follow along. But one of the things that I like to do at the beginning of a project is to gather all of the supplies ahead of time. So I have some paper and some ribbon and some different items in my color palette, and I've also gathered several different paints, some pens, and some gelatos and some ink pads and things. So what I'd like to do is just create a page to swatch out all of these different colors so that I can see ahead of time how they work together and which ones maybe I like better than others, which ones I want to use where. This is just my swatch journal. It's just a mixed media journal. The only thing particularly cool about it is that the pages just snap out and snap back in. Um, you can see the pages are just removable and then you can pop them right back in. I like it because that way when I am swatching colors, I can pull this page out and move straight on to swatch another one without having to wait for it to dry before I can work on another page. So, yeah, so I just grabbed a blank sheet of paper out of my swatch journal. I have gathered the supplies that I'm going to use right here, and I am going to just start working through them one at a time and put some of these colors down on the paper so I can get a sense of what color palettes I'm working with these supplies. Um, I find swatching paint to be very satisfying and kind of relaxing. It's a nice, brainless kind of art project, creativity project. Since I've got some leftover paint on my brush, I'm going to just open up. I call this my palette book. I use these pages. It's just a book with the cover ripped off, and I use it as a palette sometimes. And I kind of, whenever I have like excess paint or a stencil or a stamp that has some ink on it, I just kind of like slap it in here, and then I'll tear these pages out and use them in other projects here and there as well. So I'm just going to keep this nearby for the excess colors. I just smeared paint all over my bin while I was talking. um, so I'm not going to do anything in particular. Like, I'm not worried about any kind of pattern or design. I'm just going to use up that excess paint and put it somewhere where I might be able to use it at some point in the future. So I'm working with a palette of greens and golds, greens and yellows and kind of bright orangey colors and some darker greens. I'm going to line these up on my desk as I swatch them so that after they dry a little bit, I can go back in and I can add the actual, like, a little label for each one in terms of the color um and the brand and whatnot, so I know what I've got. So I have, see, these are the green paints that I have to do. Oh, making a mess on my desk again. I did have it all cleaned up. I was so proud of myself. I cleaned my whole desk, and now I'm just making a mess again. This is definitely old paint. Um, I often will pick up like Facebook Marketplace paint craft type lots. And sometimes I get I get to experiment and play around with some supplies that I normally wouldn't use. Like I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy whatever this is. It looks very old anyway. The label is peeling off of it. Um, but it's a nice way to kind of like play around with different colors or different supplies or different brands of things. Um, so that's another reason why I like to swatch things out ahead of time, just so I can kind of see how they work out. Because I don't know. I'm not sure that I really like that green, actually. It's not terrible, but it's a little too, I don't know. It's not bad. It's not bad. We'll see. The theme that I'm going for here is summertime. Um, it makes me think of the Mary Oliver poem, That Summer Day. No, Nature's First Green is Gold. Sorry, totally different poem. It's not Mary Oliver. What am I thinking? I've got two different poems floating around in my head. Here, hold on a second. I paused for a second and then I lost my paintbrush when I came back. Okay. Now I need to pause again. Right, after several interruptions, I am back. Yeah, so the color palette makes me think of, sorry, I was getting there's two different poems that it makes me think of. One of them is Mary Oliver's That Summer Day, and the other one is a Robert Frost poem, actually, Nothing Gold Can Stay. Um, and I love both of those so much, and it just makes me happy to kind of like call them forth in a color palette, in a project. I'm really excited to, gosh, again. Okay, I am back. Third time's a charm. My son is home and the dog was barking and there was food and it was a whole thing. So it's been a while. But I'm back and I am still swatching. I've got the greens down. I'm going to leave myself some room to write out the labels, and I'm going to start on the next line with some of these yellows. I can't remember what I was saying before. Maybe I was talking about the poems. These colors make me think of two different poems. Yes, I did already say that, right? Mary Oliver's That Summer Day and Robert Frost. Nothing Gold Can Stay, I think is the title of it. The first line is Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. And I do love both of those. I'm an English major. You some of you may know that already. I teach English and I studied my bachelor's is in English. And I actually have some poetry published a long time ago. Um, so that is definitely near and dear to my heart. And I feel like it goes kind of hand in hand with the art and the creative side of me too. I feel like that is just another sort of another side of me. Oh, well, made a mess there. Oh well, my swatch doesn't have to be perfect. No big deal. I do love these colors together though. I'm really liking how this looks. I like the progression. I like all of it so far. Got some inks and I've got this copper. Let's put this copper on the next line. Ooh, that's a lot. I don't need that much. All right, these are my colors so far. I think most everything else I have is going to be sort of like repeats on these colors in maybe just different formats. I've got this lunar paste, which is a really thick kind of, it's like modeling paste but colored. I should have put it here before I put that down, but oh well, it's fine. It's kind of a cross between this yellow and this copper. It's very metallic. It's very thick as well. So I love this. It's great for this color palette. It's a good fit. So far, I'm loving everything. There's nothing here that I don't want to use. That's what I was thinking, was that perhaps when I started adding it down onto the paper, I would find that maybe some of these colors didn't fit as well as I thought they would, but that hasn't been the case. Actually, so far, I love everything. Can you see the shine of that metallic? Love those. Love that. All right, now let's do some inks. I have this yellow ink. Actually, I need to dry my brush before I do that. Got some yellow ink. I'm going to just do a nice inky circle. I love inks. I don't know why. They just make me happy. They're so vibrant. I like the fluidity of them. Love a good ink. And then this is that pearlescent green from FW. It's also an acrylic ink. I feel like this comes across pretty yellow sometimes on the page. It's definitely got a lot of yellow to it. That's true. Although now, I should have used now it makes me want to make this other yellow one bigger so that it matches, because I want a little bigger on this one. And so, like, aesthetically, I want those circles to match. That's better. Isn't that silly? We're so silly. Okay, what else do I have in here? I've got some ink pads. I need to grab a stamp so I can stamp these off, but I'll do that kind of later. I have just a handful of pens, not a whole lot, and I've got some gelatos. So let's try these gelatos on the page. All right, this is the yellow. That's lemon. Then I've got mango. That mango is very orange. And then I've got margarita mix. Look at those colors. Aren't those pretty? Oof, I love it. That's very bright. Very, very bright green. All right, I don't know about these pens. These pens, this one in particular, I'm not sure about, but let's see. I'm going to do some stamping over here. So for right now, I'm just going to draw. Now, I like this color, but this pen is almost dried out. That makes me very, very sad. I haven't used my Tombos in a very long time. I do store them sideways though, so like horizontally, it shouldn't be dried out. Maybe the lid just wasn't on very well for some reason. All right, well, this side is fine. The brush side is dried out. I need to add this to my list of art supplies to replace because I really do love that color. That makes me sad. Let's do the same thing with this green. This one also doesn't look like it's in great shape. What is happening with these markers? This is a metallic marker. And it is not dried out, although I'm not sure it's the right green for this project. It's definitely a more vibrant, almost like a Christmas tree green. Yeah, if you can see really I don't know if the color variations really come through well on camera. I'm not sure. And then I've got this gold. This is the same brand as that one. I don't know if I love this either. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Then this is a Jane Davenport mermaid marker. You have to like squeeze them to get the ink down into the brush, and I always feel like I'm either squeezing too hard or not hard enough. That is very, very orange. I'm not sure about this one. This one, we'll see how it dries, but look at how like deep dark orange that is. I'm not sure if that's going to be a good fit for this project. That one might be the one that doesn't make the cut. And then I have these chrome markers, which are super fun. This one is waterproof liquid chromium, and it is in like a copper color. Okay, so those were the 5 markers that I picked out. I think they're all a pretty good fit, except maybe this one. I mean, I could maybe use it very sparingly for some detail work, but it is very bright. It kind of crosses out of the color palette for me a little bit. And then the last thing are these stamps, which I'm actually not sure about these stamp colors either. I have a gold, a cactus green, and sunflower yellow. So let me grab a stamp and I'll be right back. All right, so I grabbed these, I just grabbed a foam stamp. It's an ampersand. It's an and symbol, which I just like the word ampersand. I'm funny and weird like that. I said I was an English major already, right? You knew that. So I also found my other stays on olive green, which I think this is actually going to be probably a better fit than this cactus green. I think this is going to be too like bright Kelly green for this project, but we'll see. I'm going to start with this dark one. Just oh no, I smeared the orange. All right, so that's the cactus green. It looks like it's not very yeah. It looks like it's the right color, but it's a little bit dried out, which is sad because these stays on inks really do kind of cost a fortune to replace. Okay. I'm sure I haven't used this one, so it's probably much brighter. Well, it's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. It's definitely darker than I expected. Okay. All right. Let's stamp some ampersands over there. Get the green off of it. Well, I'm surprised at how much I like that green. It definitely doesn't look, oh, I'm off camera, sorry. It definitely doesn't look like this green, does it? You live and you learn. Let's do a yellow and see how this yellow comes across. Because if it doesn't come across this bright either, then we might be in business. We'll see. All right, that's not bad. I think it has still some green in it. I did try to stamp off the green and I maybe didn't get all of it. So maybe there's some green and some yellow on there, but that's not bad. That's really more the color that I was looking for. All right, that goes in the keep pile. And now I've got the gold. I don't have a copper. So we'll see how close this gold is to what I'm looking for. All right, so that actually doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty good too. So I'm going to keep that one. Well, the first 3 that I picked are the 3 that I'm going to keep. Oh, that makes me sad that that's all messed up. But oh well, it is what it is. Life is real life. This is how it goes sometimes. I am going to find I like a Pilot G2 to write. So I'm going to pause for a second so you don't have to watch me do all the writing. I'm going to label each one of these and I'm going to label the whole page. Cascade Journal 2026. All right, that's the page. I'm going to go with this. I'll be right back with all my labels written out. All right, folks, I am back and all of my colors are labeled and I have a nice finished swap page. Swatch. Words, Nicole, words. I sometimes don't know exactly what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. It's late. This is my third video in a row. I'm definitely done for the night. I'm having a hard time getting my words out. All right, folks. Thanks for joining me. I've got my swatch page all finished, ready to go. I will post this and put the link in the comments if you want to follow along to create the Cascade journal. I'm super excited about my summertime color palette and theme. It's definitely making me think of summer and feel very summery, so I'm excited about that. It's just coming on spring, and honestly, I am over winter, so I'm definitely in a summertime frame of mind at this point. Thanks for being here. I hope you guys have a great night. Like and subscribe. Follow along with me to work on this Cascade journal. I'd love to see you in the next video. Have a good night, folks.